Welcome to what is a slightly different video. So yes, there is another revisited review of one of my favourite books. However, it's also kind of a book fairy, book haul video. 2 days ago, I received a package from the US of A. And that package came from an author friend of mine who I have ranted and raved about his book for, well, ever since I read it last year, about this time. And that book is Sorrow Draw, which looks like this. Now, I knew that Tim was going to send me this book because he told me he was going to send me this book before Christmas. It was a thank you to me, really, which, I thank you for writing an awesome book, but apparently I was his first ever review for Sorrow Draw. And I remember at the time making my review video, saying that I couldn't believe that was the case, that more people hadn't found this book. The concept was so amazingly unique. And since then, and from there to now, Tim has managed to outsell my entire back catalogue in a quarter of the time, because so many people have found this awesome book, and I'm thrilled that they have done. But what Tim didn't tell me was that he was sending me a book box. Now, I'm impatient and I knew I wouldn't be able to film this for a couple of days. So this is what it looked like when it arrived. And as you can see, it was so neatly done, I didn't actually want to open it, but I did because I'm impatient. And the only reason it's not on this shelf of indie books behind me yet is because I wanted to show you guys what I got. So I still keep all this. This was the string and paper that Tim wrapped it in. I keep all this stuff somewhere because somebody takes the time to send it to me, I'm going to keep it. And I'll go to somebody, oh, look what I got, and I'll show you all the stuff. So we have a feather. I imagine this is to hint at Crow Killer. Character, you'll find out when you read it, because you will read it, because I said to read it and it's very good. I also have a little sticker there, which I'm going to put on my new Kindle when it arrives. I have a postcard that has the new layout and territories of the US during this universe. And there was a lovely note on the back from Tim, which was very, very sweet. And this will go with the book on the display. I have signed up to your newsletter, Tim. I didn't know that I hadn't, so I rectified that immediately. And the world's softest leather bookmark. Here, look. Stunning thing. It's just so soft, and I don't want to use the phrase supple, but I'm going to have to. It's soft and supple. And for all you vegans out there, go away. It's a bookmark, and I love it. But yeah, and then of course, the piss of resistance, the book. Now, you see this here? This little review quote here? That's me. Hi, I wrote that. Tim wanted my permission to put that on the book, and I said, of course you can put it on the book. Who would turn that down? So now it's on every copy of the book, and I'm very humbled and thank you. But I also had in the bottom of the box a proof copy of Tim's new book, The Mapmaker's Husband. Now, I was going to read this anyway, because my Kindle, when it comes, will have 3 months free KU with it. And these are all in KU, so I was going to read it anyway. But then, to my surprise, I opened the box, and there it was. So I will get into that fairly soon too. So thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate it. It's incredibly kind of you, especially considering the money it must have cost to send that to the UK. I know I worked it out and it terrified me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will forever be humble, and you deserve all of the accolades and the readers that you are now getting, because this genuinely is one of the books that has stood out the most to me over the last decade or more. It's just absolutely fantastic. If you haven't read it, go and read it. So now, the story if you are unfamiliar with it, essentially, during the American Civil War in 1863, a comet struck North Africa, which created a extinction level event. It plunged the entire world into an environmental disaster, and it's referred to as the Calamity. The story itself takes place 18 years later, and we follow Connie White, who is a former Union soldier, and he's now bounty hunting for one of the newer warlords in New England. One of these guys who's just trying to stake his power and run whatever he can. Connie's gradually beginning to feel less and less human with the way the world is, struggling to survive, and he's just kind of had enough. He's getting to the point now where he's got nothing left to live for, and he's just kind of existing. He's not living. He has a friend named Farhad, who is a Bedouin exile. He is more of the mindset of, I'll have fun and worry about it later, in all aspects of his life. But a specific job comes up that takes them across the desolate and dust-choked south. And eventually it brings them to a town called Sorrowdraw. And it's located in what used to be Texas, which of course from the map that I showed you is no longer Texas. There's been a clash between the population and a group called the Paluxy Boys. Now think of them as an Old West equivalent of the Proud Boys, something like that. Very solid, single-minded, very violent, very well, every word you could put "ist" at the end of, that would be them. And their preacher is basically running the place, and he's called John Mothershed. Now, Connie must kind of come to a decision as to whether to put an end to this guy and what he's doing, or, you know, lose the rest of his humanity, essentially, because the things that Mothershed is doing are, I mean, you think Trump's bad now, you can multiply that by exponent factors. It's bad shit. And I just can't plug this book enough. It's so good. It's not a slow burn. There is action throughout. There is deep and rich characters, and it is genuinely an amazing book. And I only get this animated and this pushy about a book that really is at the pinnacle of the things that I've read, and this is one of them. It's right up there. So yes, if you haven't read it, it is in KU, or personally I would suggest you get yourself a copy. And the reason I say that is because, if we just take this away, this book has had so much effort put into it. Like the opening artwork, and you also have the map printed across the book, and you've got these beautiful chapter headings on every chapter. It's just a stunning piece of art to have in your hands. And I was always going to get a copy, but Tim beat me to it. So it's award-winning for a reason. As I say, go check it out. I will be back with another revisited review in the next video. And yeah, see you then.